Wait, so let me get this straight. You want your viewers to pay for your rent and your groceries? Nah, that's being a little too greedy. I think you only get to pick one.
What?
What's up, gremlins? We're back with another video going over some more tea, of course. This type of drama is always so interesting to me because it's like the #1 thing in the social media 101 book to not do / talk about. So go ahead and sketch along with me here and throw me on in the background and let's get into this. This drama, of course, stems from Twitter from a Vtuber that goes by the name of Nyx Hesperia. She tweeted a post saying this: "VTubers and streamers, I know it's meant to be encouraging, but I keep seeing posts reminding people that 5 viewers is a lot. It's a full room, and they usually come from much bigger streamers. But 5 people aren't going to pay rent for me. 5 people won't give me money for groceries. The encouragement is nice, but I feel like it comes from a place of ignorance or even arrogance. For people trying to survive in today's economy, knowing 5 people is a full room isn't going to make a difference. We might feel good, but how will that actually reflect on our lives? Just a reminder, sometimes these encouraging posts read more as toxic positivity than useful advice." I don't even really know what to say about this, to be honest. So let's just start at the beginning. She's essentially saying here that 5 viewers is not a lot of viewers and that they won't pay for you to live. Now, looking at this objectively, this is technically true. I mean, for 99% of people. She isn't really saying anything wrong here. I think the wrong part is where her viewers are expected to give her money so she can afford to live. Otherwise, what's even the point of mentioning this in your posts? I can only imagine that the viewers she does have, if they were to see this, wouldn't continue to support her, and I feel like that's kind of sad. I mean, why would they? I imagine the small community she does have probably have subbed and they've donated to her in the past, and now she comes out publicly saying that she wants more. Important context here is that she's talking about herself. This isn't a hypothetical situation. She averages around 10 viewers according to Twitch tracker and is saying these 10 viewers aren't going to pay her bills. What does she really even gain by saying this? I'm not sure, but you can quickly see why people are getting upset about this. Now, is mentioning money in this economy really that bad? Well, that's something we'll get into later because I think this whole situation needs to be reframed to her being appreciative of the community that she does have, which is completely lacking from this post. Now, this isn't me saying she's not appreciative or anything like that, but the way that this was phrased certainly does not make her look good at all. I also found this line to be a little ironic. Quote, "The encouragement is nice, but I feel like it comes from a place of ignorance or even arrogance," end quote. So what part of expecting any amount of people, whether it's 1, 10, or 1,000, to pay you money so you can live isn't arrogant? Now, to address the last part of her post where she says comments similar to, quote, "5 people is a full room," end quote, is toxic positivity. Now, obviously, I can't just blanket statement say that all of them aren't. I'm sure a few are, but the majority of people say this as genuine advice. Like an example could be someone trying to improve at art. Instead of always comparing yourself to all the professionals, look at how far you have come. And that's the same underlying message that's being pushed for small creators in comments like these. Look at how far you have come instead of always comparing yourself to other large creators with how much money they make or how quickly they blew up, because everyone's journey and circumstances are going to be different. This is not toxic positivity. This is a healthier, more sustainable way to look at growth and really anything in your life. She also did make a follow-up post. You can pause to read it all if you want to, but I'm just going to give you guys that TLDR. She says here that she doesn't regret her previous post and that empty platitudes aren't going to help anybody. And this is true, but what she fails to realize is that the majority of what people are telling her are not empty platitudes. A lot of it revolves around just focusing on yourself and what you have achieved so far. So if you think those are empty platitudes, I honestly don't know what to say to you. Here she mentions that she does streaming as a full-time career, or at least wants to make it one, and doesn't want to hear people tell her that the market is saturated and she won't be cowed for mentioning money in this late-stage capitalist society. I also forgot to mention that she says here, people have the worst reading comprehension that she's ever seen to date. I believe it to be quite the opposite, but let's look at what other people have to say about this. Now, there are like 500 plus comments underneath this post, varying from all sides of the spectrum on this conversation. So let's just go over a few of them. I'm going to be paraphrasing for the most part, so if you want to read the whole thing, you could just pause. Mad Kerwumbi says, your viewers aren't there to pay your bills. We got a bit of a longer one here from Tiramisu Bunny VT. She's essentially saying, if you want to be a successful streamer, you're going to have to work on things outside of streaming. She also says that the large majority of people work normal jobs, in quotes, to pay the bills while they work on content creation. She goes on to say that she believes the way the original post was formatted makes Nyx sound entitled or arrogant, and I'm gonna have to kinda agree with that as well. And I think that's the general vibe a lot of people got from that post, and probably why it has over 2 million views at this point. Nyx responds to this saying that disabled people have to be streamers and that they have no other means of surviving otherwise. What? This one really stumped me, because in what world is streaming the only path for a disabled person? Assuming you could perform all the tasks it takes to be a streamer, that auto qualifies you for like every other job on the computer, all of which are probably 100 times easier to make money from. This was a diabolical curveball. We also have here Waifu Jitsu saying, the way you comment back at people could be the reason you're not getting more viewers. People are also pointing out that she has a relatively high quality model and asset, which probably cost her a bit of money. Where did she get that money from to begin with? Now, I'm no pocket watcher, but I would say that is certainly a thought-provoking comment, considering streaming is the only job a disabled person could perform. There are many comments under here, and honestly, I could spend 2 hours just talking about all of them, but I think you guys understand the general situation here. Just to recap my take on this, and this is me not trolling, like I'm actually being serious here. I understand the point she's trying to make. She's probably received comments from larger creators before this post saying things like 5 people make a full room, and from a small creator's perspective, I could understand how she would take comments like this semi-negatively. But like I said earlier, the majority of the creators don't say these things out of ignorance or arrogance. They were small creators at some point as well, trying to make it. Any creative field revolves around sustainability. As an artist, and just as a little guy that makes videos sometimes, creating a positive environment and being able to see how far you have come, where you are now, and where you need to be in a positive light is vital to longevity in any creative field. And I think for these large creators on their come up, if someone would have gave them the perspective to look at what they have now and how far they have come, it probably would have been pretty beneficial to them. So they pass these words on to the upcoming art/content creator babies. But what do I know? I'm just a silly little guy who makes my silly little art, and that's really all I have to say about this whole situation. Anyways, I greatly appreciate all of you gremlins that made it this far into the video. Let me know your opinions on the whole situation in the comments below, and bonus points to anyone that can guess the character I'm drawing fan art of.